We don't got time to bicker and do introductions or anything like that. Let's just jump straight into it.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy. It was good.
Yeah,
it was good. It was
I was holding my breath.
Really
I was like, "What's Justin gonna say?"
It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, what's more to say? You know what I mean? But seriously, everyone over this weekend has kind of been blowing up all over Twitter and Facebook about how this film is either the greatest thing that they've ever seen or a really, really good film. I think we're in the other camp where it's a good film.
Yeah.
It's a good film for sure.
Yeah, like I think it'd be hyperbole to say like it's the best thing I've ever seen. It's like, don't get me wrong, it's like this is a great film, but there were some, problems that stop it from like being the best thing, of course. But, honestly, it lived up to hype, and definitely, if I had to give like an overall short thing, go see it.
Yeah, go see it. I think that it's definitely like Marvel's most unique film that they've ever done so far.
Exactly. Like they finally stood out from like the typical action thing, and we're like, you know what? We're going to try and make it a little funny.
Yeah, they had fun with it. And that's something that I could definitely appreciate.
And you can definitely like feel like the personality of the directors, I guess. Honestly, like I got a take from like a friend like who saw it at the same time as us. Like he said like this was like an ode to like the 80s and 90s, and you could feel that for sure.
You definitely could.
Yeah, definitely.
You definitely could. And like there's definitely a lot of people who are saying that this is the best film Marvel has ever done. I'm not gonna go that far. I don't even think it's the best film Marvel has released this year, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought Winter Soldier was better.
Yeah, me too.
But I think that this film overall, like, while it does have its problems, is definitely like in Marvel's like upper echelon as far as films go.
Yeah, I totally agree. Actually, I guess let's get into why. So I guess overall general view of it.
Yeah, I mean, like the quick synopsis for those who I guess have been missing things. Basically, events take place that unite this unlikely group of rogues, so to say,
losers,
into a common cause, and because of this, they end up finding something unique about themselves
in space,
and ultimately have to work together to defeat something that is so much bigger than they could possibly imagine. And honestly, like like. The one thing that this film does really well, even from the get-go, is it shifts emotions so well and it doesn't feel forced, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, the opening scene is really intense, and it's like pretty emotional. But then right after that, you get some sort of, like, a dance sequence, and it's almost like a breath of relief from, like, the scene before. And that's kind of how the entire film sort of plays out, in the sense that serious events happen, but the characters don't necessarily take themselves too seriously. And so because of that, they're able to do really interesting things from a writing standpoint and from a character interaction standpoint.
Yeah.
So I liked that a lot. I liked how it was like that weird mix between action and comedy, and how they were all just kind of figuring out things for themselves, and because of that, we could do really unique things with the script, essentially. So I thought it was cool.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. I guess for me, like the things that I really liked from this were one, the characters themselves. Like everyone was really interesting. Even one of the characters, Groot, who only says 3 words, "I am Groot," and even the inflections which he says that. Or like just his sort of body language, as much body language as you can have as a tree, I guess. Right, yeah, right. You felt that, you felt that from everybody. I thought some people would be stilted, like for example, Dave Bautista's character, Drax, like the Destroyer. You would think like, he's probably gonna be boring or stilted.
It's played by a wrestler. Like I'm not really expecting much.
Yeah, exactly. But he was really good and like really funny, and honestly, you felt it. You felt whatever he was feeling. Pain. You felt the humor. Like whenever like he was trying to be funny. Nothing really ever felt forced. It's just sort of like he said. And then also, I really like the interactions between the characters. I hope this isn't a spoiler, but like I really did like that there was no forced romance. Honestly. Yeah, like usually like you get like, of course the beautiful white guy got a romance, whatever, comes his way. But this time, no, it just felt like a good friendship. Like of course there was some sexual tension, of course, but
life's no fun without a little sexual tension.
Of course. But like that wasn't like the main thing, like how so many other things usually play out. And that's something I guess I really liked about this movie, whereas like these elements, like they take a different turn and just sort of like how, like we said, this movie is different from other Marvel movies. They take this a different route too. There is no forced romance. There is no, corny scenes, or like forced scenes. It all works out well. And then I guess the second thing I would like to say is I love the action scenes. Like honestly, seeing like how the characters work together and just feel just shooting through enemies or punching and stabbing or whatever, or even like in their starships. That was really cool, and it's just really cool to see them work together, see their individual powers come out, and the fights. Obviously like that. Marvel movies have always been top notch with the comic book hero fights, and these fights just did not let up, and it was great. I loved it.
No, definitely. Like I liked it too. Like I said, and it was cool. Like kind of diving off that point you mentioned about no forced romance. For me, like I'm a Firefly fan, and it felt a lot like the relationship between Mal and Inara.
Oh yeah,
that's how it kind of felt whenever I was watching the film between Star-Lord and Gamora.
Yeah,
like it was one of those weird things where there's definitely like some sexual tension, but that's not the entire focus of everything. Especially with the dynamic that they have. It's just two people that really care about each other. Maybe have some more, maybe don't have more than that, but it's not the focus.
Exactly.
And I like that a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I would like to add like one more point. Like, even though Chris Pratt is like the main protagonist, I didn't feel like the movie really revolved only around him.
No, definitely.
And that was very nice and really refreshing. In fact, actually, one of the characters who we thought would be like, a side character, Rocket. Rocket and Groot. I thought they'd be like, just corny little cute things.
Yeah, and honestly, like I feel like they should rename the film to Rocket and Groot Save the Freaking Day, because that's seriously like right. Rocket and Groot Save the Freaking Day.
Right? Yeah, because they were honestly like one of the better like characters too. Yeah,
there's some acting issues that are prevalent in the film from time to time.
Yeah,
they kind of take you out of the mood for a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed that myself too.
Yeah, and there's also issues where like since these are all like new characters.
You don't have that emotional connection.
You don't have so much of an emotional connection because it's hard to develop all the characters at one time.
Exactly.
That being said, they do a good job, even if they don't do like a fantastic job developing all these characters, they do a good job of making sure that everyone has at least a couple moments which really stand out.
Exactly.
Nothing goes over my head. Right. I have extraordinary reflexes.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Like it was funny to see like those little jokes.
Yeah.
I guess like one problem I might have had myself was the villain. It's like I don't know anything about this villain. I don't know why he wants it. There's no like what you just said. Like there is no connection, I guess, to that. But it doesn't mean that I don't want him stopped. Of course, it's like
definitely.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like one of those villains like Loki. Loki is a very complex villain with a lot of layers to him. This was a guy who was like, I am evil,
right?
And I'm evil, yeah,
right, exactly.
Basically, and I was just like,
all right, yeah. I mean, I just still want you to be stopped, but I don't really care too much about you. I didn't care if live or die, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah, but I guess like in the end of the day, it's not necessarily about the villain so much as it is about these group of people, like this specific group of people, this specific team that kind of just happens to start in such opposite ends of the spectrum and all of a sudden somehow come together for something greater. Like the whole purpose of the villain, I guess, wasn't necessarily to be something that was super duper developed or anything. Yep. It was more like a stepping stone to make this team.
Exactly. And then also I guess they step up into like another bigger threat, who has been previewed in the first Avengers, Thanos. And I really wish they could have explored the world some more, really explained, who are going to be the main characters in the future. But, for the most part, what you said was a stepping stone. And also it didn't hinder the movie. Definitely you got to see different characters and you got to see different species and whatever. You got to see the main villain, and you see a big threat that is coming in the future too. Yeah,
and I guess maybe that's a good segue into the future. Like, what can we really expect from this series? For one, I'm hoping that there's still some great music. The music overall was fantastic, and it's cool. Yes. Side note, it's cool how like the music in the film actually has a story behind it as well. I think that's pretty cool. But honestly, like I feel like, especially like from the future, now that we have like these ties to these characters already to some extent, I hope they kind of dive a little deeper and maybe take some more time to flesh out these characters a little bit more while also establishing a greater threat.
Yeah,
I think that would be really good. I think that would be really good.
Definitely. I would love to see a Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
It's already been announced.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Already been announced. Greenlit and everything.
Okay, cool. I guess we gotta link to that if anything. But like, definitely, this was such a fun movie.
Yeah,
and honestly, I just had a good time overall. It was midnight, came from work, and right after work, I was tired, but I really enjoyed myself. Other midnight showings I have been just like, why am I here? Like Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 1. That's me personally, but
I don't blame you, dude.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I'm in a similar boat. Don't worry.
But I really enjoy this movie, and I would actually be down to see it again. So definitely, this is a movie that I think any Marvel fan has to see, or if you're looking for a good movie this summer or whenever, good movie to see, right?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I agree. For me, it wasn't necessarily as I guess intellectually deep as say like The Avengers or Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And for me personally, it felt more like okay, maybe I can just like relax and like not think too much about it and just enjoy it for what it is. That being said, I feel like this is a film that if you are a fan of the comics, that it's just perfect for you. Like it's perfect for like every Guardians of the Galaxy comic book fan that I know is just gushing and raving because this is the film that they've always wanted. And people like me who don't necessarily read the comics can still go in and just have like a good time with it as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely gets on the scale of dope or nope. It's definitely dope.
Definitely dope.
Definitely
dope. So yeah, go see this movie. Enjoy yourself. Talk to us. What'd you like about the movie? Try not to do any spoilers if possible, but definitely would love to talk to you about what you thought about the movies. Mm-hmm. And I guess what you think is in the future.
For sure. That's a good place to wrap up, I think. If you wanted to listen to more episodes, there's going to be an annotation right now. Yes, that doesn't get old. I mean, it gets a little bit old, but it's okay. Until that time, I'm going to try to figure out who the fuck Howard the Duck is. What the fuck is... I'm going to Wikipedia this shit right now.
I am Groot.
Quack Fu is one of his abilities. What is this? What is this?
I am Groot.
I am Groot. Who the fuck is Howard the Duck, dude?